Nog 2 wedstrijden te gaan en dit belooft een topwedstrijd te worden tussen 2 jonge talenten. Allereerst de jongeman die in 2014 in de finale van het PDC Jeugd WK stond. Gisteren won hij met 6-3 van James Wilson. Uit Oostenrijk, Little John, Robbie John Rodriguez. Masters is Bully Boy Michael Smith.
Well, day 2 of the Dutch Darts Masters here in Maastricht has been Cedergeddon. The number 8 seed Benito van der Pas was knocked out. The number 7 seed Kim Huybrechts has just been knocked out. The number 6 seed Ian White was knocked out this afternoon by Big John Henderson. And now it's the turn of the number 5 seed, Michael Smith, the bully boy. 4-time winner on the Euro Tour. Goes up against Robbie John Rodriguez, a man who was pretty solid in his opening round victory yesterday, but solid and sulky. This is the new, I would say not very improved Robbie John Rodriguez, sulky John Rodriguez, who moped around all the way through his 9-leg victory over James Wilson and said in his interview afterward, well, now sometimes you've got to be serious about it. I don't like serious Robbie John. They should send him back to the RJ Rod factory where they're created in a big manufacturing production line, the RJ Rods, just outside of Venice. Because there's evidently a fault with this one.
First leg is Robbie to throw first. Game on.
But sulky may have been, but he was victorious. Maybe he can mope his way through to the last 16. We shall see. Because he played some decent stuff against James Wilson. Mid-90s average. Missed a lot of doubles.
44.
Had he been hitting anything like 50% of his darts at double, he'd be up near the 100 average in that game. Michael Smith, though, after a disappointing trip down under, didn't do as he would have hoped on the World Series, it's fair to say, Michael Smith. Particularly after he'd been playing some really good darts. One in Gibraltar. He'd been threatening to win another title at the start of the year as well.
39.
Missed darts to beat Peter Wright in the final of one of the UK Open qualifiers. But he has come back into form this year, and great opportunity for him in the World Series stages. Did not seize 54. It at all down under. But hey, the European Tour stages is usually when Michael Smith produces his best. Paul Nicholson alongside me, Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one.
140.
I'm interested to see how Michael Smith deals with jet lag.
Carl Anderson didn't have a problem.
He's done it before, though.
True.
He's
95.
flown around the world many, many times, and Michael Smith has never done that before, and it is a bit of a shock when you do it for the first time. But what is shocking to me is that someone just needs to give Robbie a cuddle.
98.
I don't like it either. I like boisterous Robbie.
I like fiery Robbie.
I said yesterday after the game, I was impressed with his performance. There's a lot to admire about it. But I think someone's had a word in his ear, you know. I think someone's told him to toe the line a bit, because he hasn't had the best year so far. But maybe he's just trying
140.
to keep things quiet for a bit.
112.
112 for Michael. Single 12. Tops.
72.
By virtue of Robbie hitting that good score in the last visit, he can take the first leg.
Yeah, perfect setup shot for RJ Rod number 2. Double 10. Double 5.
35. Michael Iroquois, 40.
Well, there were things happening yesterday in Robbie's game, and he wasn't getting flustered by anything. Michael Smith needs tops, which he usually hits with alarming regularity, but tens will do.
Michael Smith.
And I bet he didn't expect
Michael to throw first.
To be winning a break of throwing 18 darts in the first leg, but that's what he's done.
Well, we have seen a number of the guys from World Series action return to the Pro Tour here this weekend in the Netherlands. Kyle Anderson has been superb. Darrell Gurney was very impressive with a nearly 103 average in his win over Steve West earlier on.
97.
Can be done.
Simon Whitlock was very good indeed against Kirk Shepherd.
Well, the first 3.5 legs. It was unreal.
100.
And we have seen in the past where Roby has played very well on a Friday in the European Tour, and on the Saturday
100.
he's gone down from about 5th gear to about 2nd gear.
Yeah, it is a frustration for fans of RJ Rod, of which I consider myself one. I think he's a fantastically entertaining player, usually. But it's the consistency that's been the issue, and it was highlighted none more so than his best run on a big PDC tournament at the European Championship in Hasselt, where he played solid stuff to get through his opening game and then just didn't do anything against
91.
John Henderson, and just didn't raise anything at all, and Hendo was allowed to just coast to victory and into the quarterfinal. But it is the consistency that young players have to learn
96.
to add to their game.
Michael Uruguay 100.
It's something that Michael Smith has worked on throughout his career. He won his first Pro Tour title something like 6 years ago. Even back then he was seen as streaky, but now
78.
he's seen as a lot more consistent.
Uruguay 108.
Yeah, he's added that B game, hasn't he, to grind out results.
Great first dart, single 19, leaves double 16, where Michael Smith is sitting right now.
76.
And he will get a shot. That was a very good
Michael
effort from
Uruguay,
Roby.
32.
Small margins. That's what darts is all about. Can Michael Smith put it on the other side of the wire?
24.
It isn't his favourite
Ready,
area of the
Uruguay,
board,
32.
Michael Smith, when it comes to the doubles, the double 16 and double 8. However, 3 darts at those targets. He'll feel he should have seen that off. Break back for Roby John.
Game shot on the second
Exactly
leg.
what it is.
Roby John
It's a
McGree.
very good dart, you know.
Third leg is Roby
Camera
to
angle
throw
that we
first.
were gifted there
Neymar.
was a perfect look at how he was blocked on the left-hand side, and he went right and low. That was a great dart. He only had about a quarter of the bed to look at, and he hit it.
60.
Fundamentally, Roby John Rodriguez has got it all. He's got a great throw, but sometimes he has that jerky throw that goes very low in the board. And that's been happening a little bit more this year. There it is. And I think it's just letting go of the dart a bit too late.
77.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I say a huge fan of Roby John. I think he's a talented player. And
100.
As a general rule, I like his attitude on stage. It may be that somebody has had a word in his ear and told him to tone things down. I think it's a bit of a shame, to be honest, because I think he's very entertaining when he's getting up people's noses and celebrating
58.
wildly. But you get the feeling he could throw a 9-darter here tonight, and all he'd do is just trudge to the board, get his darts out, and that'd be it.
I'll tell you what, this weekend, Roby John
57.
may have been told to tone things down. We've been told to turn the music down. I don't like the way darts is going. So let's fix this, people, because we have a great product, and I think we need to get Roby John back on the wild wagon,
57.
and I think we need to get the music turned up even more.
Well, let's send him to the Corey Cadby School of
Rascalness.
Rascalness. I was going to say etiquette, but yeah,
58.
rascalness I do. I think they're both pretty much the same.
The Corey Cadby School of Etiquette.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
I'd be fascinated to see the inner workings of that.
Do you get a wrapped and stoked certificate at the end?
I would be wrapped and stoked
49.
to see that school.
I hope he doesn't take offense to what I say about Corey. I've never even met the kid. But the thing is, if we're talking about it, he must be doing something right.
100.
Hey, look, he has had only a very limited number of appearances in PDC darts, but a lot of them have been on big stages. A lot of them have been against big names. And how many 100 averages is he chucking? This lad can play. Very excited. However, there's no guarantee we're going to see him at the World Championship.
60.
We will see him at the Grand Slam.
Michael Uruguay 146.
Corey Cadby plus Wolves Civic equals... Oh, that's going to be brilliant.
That'll be very interesting.
56.
The Yam Yams are in for a
Roby
treat
Uruguay,
down the
140.
Black Country.
Another
Ooh.
one of those. Go on, Roby, have a crack. Oh, double 10. Oh, it's gone next door.
132. Michael Uruguay, 90.
Michael Smith, 20s. Staying there for the ball.
41.
Some way off.
Roby Uruguay, 8.
So, for the first hold of throw here, we've had a couple of breaks to start this one off, but double 4, and it's a scrappy old start to this one.
Game shot on the
That
third
will
leg.
do nicely for
John
Roby John Rodriguez.
Four leg is Michael to throw first.
Say one
Emon.
thing about hitting that double 6, it's a good miss. You'd rather hit the double 6 than hit the inside of the 10,
Yeah,
because you'd much rather be on double 4 than double 5.
yeah, and if you are going to miss next door on double 10, don't hit the double 15.
57.
Which I believe I saw some stat earlier, which is the most common way of busting a finish in PDC darts this year. Number of I keep, there's one obvious standout one where Ian White did it at the UK Open in the
85.
quarterfinals, going for double 10 and hit double 15. But I have seen it quite a lot on the European Tour, the Pro Tour. We've seen it quite regularly. It's very strange that.
Who's keeping that statistic?
Well,
42.
the internet, the hive mind of the internet. I'm no way of verifying if it's true.
There are people out there who watch a lot more darts than we do, which is quite scary,
Wow.
considering how much darts we
81.
watch.
Oh, Michael Smith getting his name sung here in the hall. Admittedly not by
94.
a substantial part of the 5,000 fans we've got here, but
You never know, they might start singing his walk-on song, because I know how much you enjoy that.
I prefer Jim Walker's.
81.
Sad to see Jim go out of the tournament. Obviously very happy for Peter Wright to go through, but Jim Walker has been brilliant here this weekend.
He's been entertaining. He's been
44.
unpredictable.
Well, we like unpredictable.
Ah, I love unpredictable. Right, very difficult to predict what Roby John's going to do from visit to
140.
visit, because he looks at times like he's going to play the same solid stuff that he produced against James Wilson yesterday, and then at other times it just looks very scrappy.
I spoke to James Wilson this
140.
morning, actually, and asked
Roby
him
Uruguay,
about
114.
what he thought of the game, and he just said, it were weird.
Yeah, that's a typical assessment from the biscuit.
$58.
Now then,
Uruguay,
Michael Smith. He's missed bullseye
124.
for one finish already. Might get another go at the ball here. It is. Oh, he got
99.
closer.
Roby Uruguay, 56.
Roby John Rodriguez is 56 points away from a 3-1 lead against the number 5 seed.
No score.
Cardinal sin. He
Michael
misses the
Uruguay,
single.
25.
Then he misses another one by hitting the big treble. You can't gift opportunities like that to Michael Smith, especially when he's got
Game
double
shot on
10.
the fourth leg. Michael Smith.
Michael Smith can't believe he
Leg
got
is
that
Roby
chance,
throw
but he
first.
took it.
Game on.
Well, we've got a level game. Roby John Rodriguez. I have 10 simple words for you, my man. Do not miss the big
93.
number, as we call it. Get it tattooed on that sleeve.
I'm sure there was a game I
140.
watched this weekend where both players didn't have a tattoo, which is very strange. I look at both of these guys, both got the sleeve going on. It was Hendo.
100.
In his first round win against Ronnie, was it?
That was it. Two guys who didn't have tattoos on their arm. I was in the twilight zone.
140.
Do you know for sure that Hendo has no tattoos? Or just no visible tattoo?
No visible
I'm
ones.
kind of hoping that he's got like a massive sword tattooed down the entirety of his back.
I have shared a room with John once, and I'm pretty
98.
certain there wasn't a sword on his back.
Oh, okay. Well, it might be a recent addition.
I'll be sure to ask him in the practice room in the morning, because he will be back tomorrow, John
93.
Henderson, after a sensational performance today
He
against
will.
Ian White.
And the crowd took to him. Liked his little dance as well, didn't they?
I'm a fan of that.
I liked it as well.
Everybody needs a gimmick.
Hendo very impressed with the crowd himself, as he
75.
pointed out earlier on.
Michael Uruguay,
I kind of see the back of the
128.
room for Falk.
For
Folk. Harry Folk. Needs another. Double 10.
108. Remy Uruguay,
Well, judging by the fact he's
135.
won both of his legs on double 10, I fancied him to hit that. Roby needs not the 16, that's for sure. He needed a 25 or a bull.
39. Michael Uruguay, 20.
He's left himself a 2-darter, Roby John Rodriguez, well hooker by crook, but double 10 should put Michael Smith in the lead, and it
Game
does.
shot on the 5th leg, Michael Smith.
Just get the
Sixth leg
feeling
is
this is a
Michael
very
will go first.
un-Michael
Game
Smith
on.
type game. It feels like it's being played on -2 on the remote control.
Yeah, he's not
100.
fluent, is he? He's not fluid, he's not got the pace about it, but I suppose it's difficult. You can't... One of the things is, when we talk about this game and how confidence
60.
is such a factor in these players playing their best, but you can't fake it. You can't just manufacture it. You can't just go up on stage and go, right, I'm going to be
95.
confident. I'm going to believe that every dart is going to hit its target. You can't just do that. You can lie and pretend to yourself all you want, but you cannot manufacture that feeling of confidence. And
100.
because it plays such a factor in this incredibly mental game in more ways than one, it is a huge, huge thing. And you do see players speed up and slow down and do
90.
all kinds of things just to try and find something, and then it can click, and that confidence can come flooding back.
Well, when he won in Gibraltar, then he followed that up with the final the next
56.
time around. His confidence was hellacious.
Well-
It was just so infectious. And he provided some of the best darts that I've ever seen. I mean,
100.
that final with Van Gerwen where he hit the 170 checkout,
Oh,
I mean, I nearly lost my voice.
It was a belter, and we know he's capable of doing that, Michael Smith.
57.
But this is a
Michael
slightly
Uruguay,
better leg than we've
116.
seen, but he's needing a ton plus to complete a 15 darter. That's good. Oh, he hit the double. What are you doing, man? He wanted the single 19 for tops, and he's hit the double.
The single gremlin's back.
96.
My word.
It bit Roby John Rodriguez on the last leg. It's just taken a little bit of a chunk out of Michael Smith, but he's back. And guess what? Double 10
Well,
again.
58.
he's won all
Michael
3 of his
Uruguay,
legs so far
20.
on double 10, so maybe it's not the worst thing in the world.
Game shot on the 6th
that
leg,
4 legs.
Michael Smith.
I wonder if he can win
7
all
legs
6
Roby
legs
go
on double
first.
10.
Game on.
I'm sure that's been done before, probably by James Wade.
Yeah. Quite possibly. If anybody's going to do it.
131.
James Wade, someone who isn't here this weekend.
100.
Roby John looking to...
98.
I'm not sure about that switch there, you know. When you're on 370, even a straight ton leaves you a straight ton for the 170. Now he's got to
140.
utilise other parts of the board if he wants to leave a finish.
Well, he could do it with a 25, couldn't he? May not need to.
With that lie, he should be filling it up.
108.
That's exactly what he does do. And it's a first maximum for Roby John Rodriguez. Leaves himself a nice little 2-darter.
You love it when they prove you right.
85.
Come on, Roby.
Remy Uruguay, 92.
92. Don't need to use the bull route. Treble 12, perhaps. Treble 16 would have left him a double. That does
60.
leave him a double. And he'll be back. Good leg from young Roby.
Yeah, decent response from Roby John Rodriguez when it
100.
looks like the game
Remy
might be getting
Uruguay,
away from him.
52.
3 legs on the spin for Michael Smith, but there's still work to do here. That's no help to him. Oh, neither is that.
No score.
I think it's fair to say that he'll be
76.
disappointed with all 3 darts there.
Yeah.
It might take 3 darts to see the leg gone, but it won't go
Game
to
shot on the
Roby John.
7th
It'll
leg.
go to Michael Smith. He was able to
He
gobble
legs
up
with
that
Michael to
opportunity,
throw first.
and he's not going to
Game
win
on.
all 6 legs on double 10 because that one is on double 18.
Well, this is Michael Smith's game to lose. 10
60.
darts missed at double by Roby John Rodriguez. And it all started in leg 1 when he missed 3. And Michael Smith is, I mean, he's not even got out of second gear, has he?
59.
And yet it's been enough. 84, I mean, it ain't good. And it was solid stuff yesterday from Roby John.
140.
Sadly, it has been anything but today.
Roby doesn't look like he's going to win this match, and he can't even keep his sponsors on his shirt. Nothing's going his way.
$100.
Michael Smith is experienced
93.
enough now to know that tonight is just about getting the win. He can wake up tomorrow morning after a bit more sleep and probably get rid of another hour or two of jet lag. Could well go under the radar a bit tomorrow, Michael Smith.
174.
That's better, Roby.
Well, 3 big troubles from Roby John Rodriguez, but he might be taken out of the equation entirely by
182.
Michael Smith firing in his first maximum, and it leaves him the Mensah for a 6-2 win.
Looks all over now.
40.
Michael Smith.
Michael Iroquois, 28.
Here you go.
Double 14 it is.
Game
and
shot.
double 14
Man
is
of the
hit. And a
match,
13
Michael
darter
Smith.
for Michael Smith, who just seemed to grow into that game, but it still was nowhere near top gear from the Bully Boy. He does book his place in the final day of action here at the Dutch Darts Masters, and it is Joe Cullen, the number 12 seed, who awaits. That's after Cullen needed that deciding leg to see off Captain Jimi Hendrix. A raise of the eyebrows from Michael Smith. Not the most pleasant of wins for the Bully Boy, who I know, whenever he steps on that stage, is desperate to show what he's capable of and throw those big ton-plus averages. However, an 87 was good enough tonight. It will not be good enough tomorrow, he knows that. But he's quite capable of stepping it up in the final stages of the Dutch Darts Masters. Mensah Suljovic, the number 3 seed, is on the way to round off the night against the bronzed Adonis Steve Beaton. Settle in, is short of section to the evening.
Michael, they say a win is a win. Is that how this match was?
Yeah, of course it was. I played rubbish then and got away with it, but as you said, I'll take a win. I'm into tomorrow now and I can get settled down proper. I had about 6 weeks off from playing these, and it was a bit difficult coming back then. It was a bit of a struggle, but I shouldn't have played that bad, and I did. I feel sorry for the crowd after watching a game like that, but I'll take the win now. I promise that it won't be that bad tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you know about how you've won 4 of these events, so you know how to do a Sunday on a Euro Tour, don't you?
Yeah, of course. I know how to prepare proper, and how to settle in and take the first 3 hours of the last 16 match, and how to do them well, and how to recover for the next ones. I do a lot of things different from the other guys. I kind of keep away and keep myself quiet. That's what I'll be doing again tomorrow, and I'll get recovered for hopefully the quarterfinals tomorrow and onwards.
Hij gaat door naar de morgen, dames en heren. Altijd gevaarlijk op de Euro Tour. Geef een applaus. Bully Boy, Michael Smith.